ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् यो अन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्ताम् This
461.
No, there is one thing playing into my again, and it is restricting my. I don't know whether you all are hearing something from my laptop is playing.
No, we don't hear anything.
यो अन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं समचरणसरोजं सान्द्रनीलाम्बुदाभं जघननिहितपाणिम् मण्डनं मण्डनानाम् तरुणतुलसीमालां कन्धरं कञ्जनेत्रं सदयधवलहासं विठ्ठलं चिन्तयामि विठ्ठलं चिन्तयामि. Pranams to the Lord. Pranams to all the Mahatmas in tonight's Bhagavad Bhagavad session. We'll continue in chapter 10. Over to you. From 461 OV of chapter 10.
461. I personally went to those Brahmins who were performing the sacrifices with the request to give me food, but they did not give me. This is the narrow stupidity of the karma addicted people. 462. Leaving me aside, they try to propitiate other gods like Indra, but they do not know that those gods like Indra, Brahma, etc. are obeying me only. This is the lacuna in their ceremonies and rituals. 463. Please note that those who do not offer their actions to me, the Lord Krishna, are really having great bad luck. They suffer from poverty in this world, but their heavenly enjoyment is spoiled. If we do not sip the porridge, 464, if we do not sip the porridge and apply it to all our body, it is obvious that our hunger will not be satisfied, and further we will not feel that touch very comfortable because of the stickiness. 465. Similarly, those who perform yajna by neglecting me, the presiding deity of all sacrifices, are performing those sacrifices as futile as a young widow becoming pregnant. The result is as shameful as her plight. 466. If a man takes money from others saying that he is going to perform the yajna, the good result of that sacrifice is taken away by the person who lends his money, and one who does go through all the details of the rituals remain as empty as before, and further the pride of that performance only troubles him. 467. Supposing a sweet paste of milk and sugar is served to the diners by using a spoon, the spoon is smeared by that paste, but it is not able to enjoy its taste, while the diners derive the joy. 468. When a sugarcane dish with juice is put into the crusher, the pot is full of juice while the crusher is squeezing and crushing the dry fibers and making painful noise. Similar is the condition of such performance of yajnas. 469. They do the work while the doer earns the merit, and only the sin of killing the sacrificial animal is added to the stock of the sins of the performer because he is proud of the action. 470. In short, the experts of yajnas suffer in vain, while persons who do not know anything about these yajnas, etc., enjoy the happiness because there is no fear of mistakes and no pride of doing yajna. 471. They do not know the details and the hardships of the ceremonies, but have great faith in me, and therefore they pass beyond all miseries and enjoy the self bliss. 472. They do not know how to have respect about the performance of sacrifices, but have great love and devotion for me. These simple souls get all the happiness. 473. There are so many sons of cowherds with me in Gokul. What merits did they have in their lot? But they burned their past karma because of their devotion and enjoy the great blessing of my friendship. It is not a fact. 474. If we apply the rules of karma to the young gopis, their actions was improper. But as the heart was eager for the Supreme Person, they could reach my highest abode. 475. Further, even the animals, cattle, birds, and serpents all reached my final abode. But as the Yajnik people were proud of their expertise of rituals, they remained having to suffer all types of sorrows. 476. Those who are attached to the performance of the ceremonies, etc., become too proud about their skill, and therefore their mind becomes dull and they have the concept that they are the only clever persons, and therefore they have to suffer. 477. A moth definitely dies by the touch of the flame, but it jumps into the flame with all its energy. Similarly, these actions, mad fanatics really undergo many hardships, but because of their pride, they think that it is pleasure. 478. Really, because of their pride, they think that Jiva is free. But if we consider carefully, Jiva has no such freedom. I'm going to explain this to you. Please listen.
यदि प्राप्तिं विघातं च जानन्ति सुखदुःखयोः तेऽप्यधान विदुर्योगं मृत्युर्न प्रभवेद्यथा.
Meaning of the verse, even if they know how to overcome misery and to win happiness, surely they are not able to discover any yogic method to avoid death. 479. These people perform specific rituals in order to negate sorrow and to gain happiness. They call themselves superior men of knowledge, but do not know how to end sorrow. 480. What is the type of sorrow which is not avoided even by these actions? I will tell you about that all in the proper sequence. 481. There is no greater sorrow than death. The shock of death is so great that these poor people do not know how to go beyond that sorrow. 482. Just as boiling water, though quite hot and may scorch over skin, will not be hot enough to burn the house. So death cannot be averted by any action or any powerful means because it is imperative. 483. These persons who are merged in karma do not know by what karma they can bring end to the death. Those who are bound to performance of actions definitely meet death. 484. Foolish people say to themselves, anyway, death is definitely destined for us. So why not enjoy all pleasures while we are living? But what certainty is there that they will get happiness while they are living?
ऊन्वर्थसुखयत्येनं कामो वा मृत्युरन्तिके आघातन्नियमानस्य वध्यस्येव न तुष्टिदः.
Meaning of the verse, when the impending death gives a man no sense of security or happiness, what pleasure can wealth or any enjoyment give him? Just as convict being led to execution cannot enjoy any pleasure. 485. O Uddhava, these people attached to actions do not get pleasure even while they are living. I will tell you the reason for it. 486. If good food is served with poison mixed in it, wise persons will not accept it only because it is sweet, as they know that it is poison and they may die. And so They will simply throw it away. 487. A wise man will not stay even for a moment more in the house which is burning, but run away before death. 488. If robbers stand in the door of the house, no persons will cherish good food. Similarly, when one knows that the body is sure to die, how can one find pleasure in the sense objects? 489. Suppose the beard of a man is scorched and the face has become ugly. He does not say that he is beautiful. Similarly, when one sees that his body is partially dying every day, how can one find joy but contact of sense objects? 490. When the death is very near and the severe spasms start, all things such as people, money, food, women, and anything else does not give any comfort or pleasure, and these become useless. 491. Money and women become a source of anguish at the time of death because man's desire binds his life to them, and thus his soul is attached to them. 492. When a man is being led towards the pole of being impaled on it, he is fed some sweets and good food and drink. He is garlanded, but he is not at all happy. 493. Similarly, when death is always before one's eyes, how can a man feel happy? The wise people therefore give up sense satisfying objects, and only fools become attached to them because know this clearly. 494. Even if there are innumerable sources of pleasure at hand, they are useless when the body is actually suffering, even for a short while. So they are ignorant who are working hard to get sensual pleasure. There is permanent happiness in a state of mind not occupied by any object. 495. In short, there is no real happiness in this world. Some say that in the other world, after death, there is happiness. But oh Dhava, even that happiness is not at all possible. Please listen to the reason.
श्रुतं च दृष्टवद्दुष्टं स्पर्धासूयात्ययव्ययैः बह्वन्तराय कामत्वात् कृषिवच्चापि निष्फलम्.
Meaning of the verse. Just like the worldly pleasures, the bliss of heaven is also spoiled by envy, jealousy, deterioration, and ending. There are many impediments in attaining the bliss, and it is sometimes fruitless as unsuccessful cultivation. 496. We hear that the heaven world is also there, as we have this earthly world, but the higher worlds are having many defects, and only foolish people desire for such defective things. 497. Now ask what lacune are in the pleasures of the heaven. Please listen. In that life, there is competition, jealousy, and destruction. The merit is slowly spent up in the enjoying the pleasures of the heavens. 498. When one looks at the other residents of heaven who are more elevated by their penance, one starts to compete with them. When one sees others having the same pleasures as he himself and passion own question, they find fault with that man without any reason and criticize him. Even if in the heaven world also there is such a state of envy and hatred, how can there be a real happiness in that life? 500. So even there are difference in pleasures according to the merits earned earlier, and therefore no real happiness. 501. One enjoys the amorous mating with Urvashi, while some other has to be content with ugly Hidimba. In short, the pleasures of heaven are subject to waning due to loss of the merit and great fall from heaven. 502. More the man enjoys the heavenly pleasures, the weaker becomes the force of his penance and he is destroyed. 503. Oh, Dhava, there are errors in the performance of rituals done with the desire for heavenly pleasure, and actually heaven is not reached. 504. Naming ceremony is not done of a stillborn child, Similarly, if there is mistake in the performance, heavenly life is beyond reach. 505. You will ask, what brings in the impediments? My answer is that ritual itself contains the mistake. Karma itself creates defects. 506. Karma itself is the realizing factor, and karma itself is the detrimental to its success. People do not know this and they therefore get entangled. 507. There is a possibility of many types of defects in the performance of selfish rituals. The place, the time, the mantra, and the technique, the money, the amount to be offered to Brahmins, the pots, utensils, and the procedure. All things are required to be proper in quantity and pure in quality. 508. Just a little breach of diet regimen becomes disastrous to a patient of tuberculosis. So, also in the case of rituals, even a small defect becomes detrimental. 509. If a little amount of unwanted food article is by mistake added to the milk in a big vessel, we get neither curds nor butter, but the milk is spoiled. 510. Similarly, any ritual performed with a desire for fruit becomes futile and also very dangerous for the performer. 511. For example, when a farmer takes all the troubles to cultivate the land and sow the seed, take all the precautions to protect the crop, but by any calamity, the crop is destroyed by heavy rain, no rain, hurricane, pests. 512. First, the land must be rich, the soil rich in fertility, the seed must be of high quality, rain must be at the proper time, there should be no pestilence, the agriculture instruments must be proper. All these are basic requirements. Even 513. Even after sowing, the field is required to be protected by erecting compound wall of proper shrubs, etc., or thorny plants, and it had to be keenly guarded by day and night under proper supervision. 514. Even when the corn is ripe and grains are developed, the sky becomes overcast and the crop is spoiled, or some fungus blackens the grains, or other grass grows around. 515. Similarly, on the action, the red hot pride develops, or by the pest of irreligiousness, the crop is completely destroyed. 516. If the crop is not protected properly, birds flock on the field and all the grains are eaten up. The birds are hope and envy. 517. If hypocrisy, the pest attacks, then the crop is definitely lost because there are no solid grains in the pods. The rats of passion and anger have already eaten the roots. 518. If the vikalpa, the doubt, attacks the spiritual cultivation, then the field is as good as barren. And if there is the attack of locust of evil desires, the whole field is totally destroyed. 519. Thus, there are many calamities in the way of rituals, just like the cultivation. The farms does with so much hard work. The performance without getting the fruits get drowned in the sea of calamities. 520. There is only one heaven performance. Aspiring for it are many gods try to prevent them. And the king of gods Indra definitely tries to disturb them because he is afraid of losing his own throne and power. 521. For example, in the house of the prostitute, there are many men desiring her who is only one woman. They vie amongst themselves and even fight. Similarly to them is the condition of the performance of the sacrifices, etc. 522. To take another example, when a bitch is hot, many dogs gather and fight amongst themselves for her. That is what happens when sacrifice and rituals are performed by people. 523. The dog that enjoys the bitch becomes entangled in the sex and passes by throw stones at that dog. 524. The bitch being coupled with the dog turns in the opposite direction and thus being helpless in the sexual law. The dog and the bitch are stoned by people, such is the shame. 525. The attainment of heavens by ritual expert is of a similar nature. They consume their merits in enjoyment in the heaven, but fall to the earth again taking birth. Their attachment to the pleasure of heavens, however, is dormant in them, which creates suffering. 526. So just like the difficulties confronting the cultivator, there are calamities in the way of attainment of heaven, which nullify all efforts as well as fruits. 527. There are some who
So,
say that they will
Hariom, we can pause over here and take that point tomorrow's reading. Okay, Padmaji, you tell what you felt while reading.
Mm, mm. Regarding yajnas, even after doing, they take this lot of people take so much effort to do a perform it, but uh, people just pass by our neighbors, all they attend, but they get fruit better than Lord who perform so much. Uh, mm, they take lot of efforts to do yajnas. No, they also don't get that much fruit. That I like that point. Only simple person, just they go and attend, they get all fruits. With bhakti, they attend.
Anybody has any other thoughts to share?
Yeah, I mean, I think relate to that. I remember for years, my husband and me would do a Satyanarayan puja, and we didn't even know, we didn't even know who Satyanarayan was. We were so religiously unaware. But honestly, we began with the right attitude because we um, we had moved into a big home at the age of 39, and we just felt so grateful to God. And we didn't know how to thank God. And we had attended a Satyanarayan puja once, and we liked it. And so we said maybe that's the way to do it. And when we began, we didn't even know how to find a priest. And we struggled for the first 3 to 4 years. And then, I mean, once there was a lady priest who came in and she was very, and she asked me, and I said, yes, yes, I'm absolutely okay with a woman doing it. But then she came in, we did it in our veranda, and she said, you'll have such a big home and you don't do it inside. But actually, we didn't have space inside. And I mean, slowly this puja grew in stature in Singapore, and we were so clueless, right? Because everyone, like some Indian friends asked us, they said, children have never attended puja, and could we bring them? And so we said, sure. And then over 10 years, it just grew and grew and grew. And one fine day, at the end of the puja, I turned around and I saw there was chaos, right? It was just chaos. It had become a sanctity left to the event. And I just said, this is it, full stop. I just don't want to do this because it's become like a social happening rather than, how we wanted it. And I think that was ironically the time when you came into my life, Varsha. So the chanting journey began and the puja naturally gave up. And, I laugh back at it now because, of course, we did it with the right intent, but for many people over time, it just became a social gathering, nothing more than a social gathering.
Today's Gita class, every Wednesday, which we have, if possible, when I upload it, do watch that. Today's
I
whole
mean, I
thing.
love pujas and I love rituals because I think, there is science to it. And when done properly, I really enjoy the meaning to it. But I think most of the time, sadly, it's done quite meaninglessly.
Yeah.
So,
I was telling about like today's Gita class. We are in this chapter 4. And last week we completed all the yajnas, which are 12 in number. And then from yesterday, 1st of April onwards, we had to bind ourselves to any one of the yajna for 21 days. So we had opened the group and kept that whatever you choose from what you have learned so far. So till last Wednesday, like we had completed those. And then till Saturday, so then people said, I already do yoga. So I will do this. I already do this. So I will do this like that. And all the group had the discussion. So I just allowed all whatever that was happening and they were posting. Then in today's session, so one of the thing, it's not a yajna spirit is not just the action that we do, because over here now today, it's like whole of it was reflection of the entire chapter 4, which we spoke in the class, that I do yoga for my fitness. I do pranayama for my fitness. I go to gym, or I do lift weights, or I whatever. What we are doing is like for a physical benefit to stay healthy, improve our longevity, improve whatever, whatever. So this yajna spirit. So when people said they were already doing it or eating healthy, which people are already doing. So this yajna spirit had to clear. So we spoke about it today, that it is in an offering. It is not that what I would get out of it. It is in this whole living, what you are able to offer, not because you want something, but because you respect that supreme. And for that you are offering. So we discussed that, and we continued with the verses today. And this was last week was till 30. Today we have to start with 31. And one verse would reveal another, one verse would reveal another. I had to borrow time, which happened for the first time. Normally we would do only 2 verses, 3 verses in a whole class of an hour. And we started getting into the daily Gita time, which we took 2 minutes or 3 minutes extra, I think so. And then forcefully stopped it at verse number 38. So 31 to 38, 8 verses covered, never happened. So I'll tell you the gist of what happened. Lord is saying over there that one who is able to offer, no, first he says, without an action, nobody can live. So that action you must do. And then when the action is getting offered in the yajna spirit, the change that happens to one and to the jnana when he elevates, that person never falls down and never gets deluded. So that jnana achieved with the yajna spirit offering is a permanent jnana, point number 1. Point number 2 is he gives the example that how an agni, a fire, consumes everything and burns everything to ashes. The jnana, when it burns off all the sins into the ashes. So before that, the verse comes that by jnana, in the problem of or on the oceans of the sin, the one raft that you can cross is the jnana. So then the question comes, how the jnana raft or the boat of jnana, of the knowledge, crosses the sin. Then this answer comes, like how the fire consumes the fuel. Likewise, the jnana agni consumes the sin. So this yajna bhav today, which is coming over here in all the verses. So again, the point reinforced that all the actions, our day-to-day actions, if we can speculate and micromanage into offering to the Lord, there is a certain change in the temperament that is happening continuously. And like I gave over there an example, like if we remember our first driving lesson, where we couldn't hold the steering, the car would go little here and there. Or we remember our first bicycle riding lesson, where we couldn't hold the balance at all. But once we learned the driving or once we learned the riding of the bicycle, did we forget that? So that came. So even if now for 30, 40 years, if you've not ride a bicycle and if you would start riding, it will come to you. If you start driving, the driving will come to you. You will not go back to that wobbling of that steering or the wobbling of the cycle. It might be difficult for fear, but not the wobbling of that. So when the knowledge happens, it happens permanently. So for that, this yajna spirit is necessary in all the actions that we are doing. Otherwise, it's going to be waste. Means if you are living life, and that's why all those examples that they gave, like you are going to die only, then what are you doing for? What are you doing? So those examples we should apply. But before the body drops, at least the jnana should happen to me, because Krishna gives this statement that once you get the knowledge, again you will not be in the moha, again you will not be deluded. And every day we are anyways doing action, from morning till night, even this moment we are doing the action. So it is now not about the action. It is about now, the point is attitude. That attitude, that mental shift, whatever we are doing is for the Lord, and into that offering, if it goes, the change is going to happen. So that's all I had to say. So much again, I spoke because it's fresh from the Gita session. Anybody wants to add any point?
No,
Yeah,
wonderful.
actually, Varsha, it
You
reminds
said
me
very
of,
well, actually.
every time Swami, sorry,
No, it's okay. No, I said Varshaji said very well about
Rightly put it.
rightly put in the actionless action or inaction in action, right? So that attitude will automatically brings the good knowledge, and that knowledge is permanent.
Yes.
So no rebirth, right? Once that knowledge happens, no fear
Yes.
of death and no rebirth.
No, there's no death.
No
There's
death,
no death.
no
That
death,
bliss
no rebirth.
continues.
And one point
Yes.
also, I see point number 506, like karma itself is a realizing factor, and karma itself is detrimental to success. So
Mm.
again, action, karma.
Yes.
Ishwar Panabuddhi.
So
Yes.
attitude only, like it is, if we
Yes.
have different attitude, it is detrimental to success.
Yes.
So results oriented is not right.
Correct.
So you have
Yes.
perfectly summed up everything, Ashok, that I have noted.
Thank you, Sri Harinji, for seconding it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ganesh Sanjay, you were saying something.
yeah, I mean, I just remember that every time Swami Shukdevananda ji was to be in town in Singapore, you would fast, and you did it just naturally, and maybe, maybe these acts come to you very intuitively. I don't know. But he used to go on to a fruit fast. And I remember once I asked you at Abha's house, and I said, you're going to, and you looked up and you said Upavasa, and at that time I didn't get the term, right? I didn't understand it, but it had probably stayed in my brain. And then recently I met one of Jawa's teachers, actually his principal from Karnataka High School in Pune, and she said, how many people think Upavasa is fast, but actually it is you're so involved in the act of being with your higher self that you forget about food, right? Food does not happen. And people just take it as fasting, but the meaning of the word is so different. And then it connected back to that moment when you had used it. And it all fell into place for me. Because actually, at the time that you were doing that, was also that intermittent fasting craze, right? So people were anyway trying to do that. And it was a lot of people follow trends without awareness of whether it makes sense to their lives and why they're doing it and so on. So I just remember that it fell into place for me very recently, like just about a month ago. What is Upavasa and what does fasting
Upavasa,
mean?
you elevate, you live with, and you like Upanishad, you live near Guru, you surrender to sit near Guru. So Upavasa, you are sitting near the higher, because now he is already a realized master is in the town. So what is that? Because invariably when he is there, lot of satsangs in various houses means lot of food.
Mm,
Then the thing mind goes, ना किसके घर में क्या पकाया है ये क्या है वो क्या है, mind just goes there. Interesting day. I think I would pause the recording to say this, or I would go, I don't know, because you took this topic, Renisha. So one day like this, you said, because I'm continuing what you said, so I was not eating anything, right? When he comes in the town. Now his first session was at 7 o'clock in Meeta's house. And I would start early because the taxi would come or not was always a problem. So on one such day, I started early, but I got taxi early, so I reached the venue early. And the tea and all was happening. So I was asked for, offered the tea. So I said, no, you don't drink tea? No, because I am fasting, so I'm not. So then Swamiji said one word. So in fasting, you're not taking tea. You can go without tea. So I said, जी स्वामी जी आपकी कृपा से तो और दिन भी मतलब चाय के बगैर रह सकते हैं. That's all. हाँ स्वामी जी. And that's the time my tea coffee dropped. From that time, so now it's been like 10 years. The tea coffee dropped at that one conversation, one word come here. That it can go another time. And over here at home, means in my little India small apartment, I have got 2 or 3 boxes of this chai, which normally you would not get. Of society, some masala tea, and in Mustafa, that would finish very fast. So when I would get it, I would buy 2, 3 and keep. Because in the morning, if that is left for boiling, the aroma that would spread in that my little tiny hut would wake me up to senses and I would feel the joy of having the tea. The joy of that tea in the morning to kickstart the day was like, if it is not there, nothing will work. Or if I'm traveling, the Starbucks coffee, the smell of that and putting cinnamon on it and having it, the travel is not complete. Going to a mall, Starbucks, you can't pass Starbucks without having that coffee and that cinnamon. And so these two things were like so much ingrained, and it's like impossible to do a day or a journey without it. That minute, he just took it off. Then next day, I land up in Nita's house again. It's
Yeah,
only
so
with these
so I just
balance, with
yes,
these
yeah,
balance
when
of
you
tea
sorry.
boxes, with these balance of tea bottles, I go in her house. अब ये मेरे काम के नहीं. Next day, it just that second it went in front that day when he said, and next day the tea is over there. Then when she prepared, oh, this is so nice. Till recently also she's saying, आपने छोड़ा और हमको पकड़ा दिया है वो we cannot do without it anymore. I said, but it's great because it's impossible otherwise. If you think to leave a tea or a coffee, it's
No,
impossible.
I really
Yes,
feel many such changes are just a switch. It's a
yes,
switch.
yes, yes. It just happened because you took about this Upavasa. I thought I'll extend that. That was the reason that this just went, and it's impossible for me, a person like I'm such a coffee thing and such a masala chai thing. It's been 10 years. So now if a whiff of a smell comes of a tea or a coffee also, it's just another. It's just a smell. It means from the impossible to so that's a grace, I would say. So when now it's couple of times when Isha, you remember Swami Shukdevananji, it's like when I see he precipitates in the satsangs like this, and when even utterance of a Mahatma's name, he occupies and he just sanctifies our reading, or he puts the stamp. Yes, aap sahi chal rahe ho. It's indirectly. So thank you, Vinisha, for bringing the Mahatma into the satsang of this. We talked too much today. It's going to 10:35 odd, I think. So let's do the closing prayers. पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ओम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम् श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु Hari Om, everyone. Thank you for
Hari
making this day
Thank you,
so
Ashwaji.
beautiful.
you.
Getting knowledge versus practicing. Oh, sky difference. I was just relating to my coffee addiction. Ayyo.
It's,
Great,
it's
great.
something.
Yeah, don't know. Practice is more important than just learning.
But again, the grace has to be, yeah. So that's why satsang, Sant Mahatma, whenever any Sant is visiting Singapore, please attend over there. Because in India, it's flooded with sants, but to get a satsang is very tough. But in Singapore, it's, it is possible you get the nearness to the Mahatma so easily. In India, it's tough. You are just one in that corner, and you are a part of a public which can get crazy. So you have to, yeah, there is a distance maintained. But in Singapore, so you are lucky there. Whenever a Mahatma visits a town, be in that.
Last time when Sukhdevanand was here, we had Abhaji invited us for that Gita Yajna. It happened in Arya Samaj opposite Mustafa. Whole Gita was chanted with the Havan.
Yes, yes. Over there only normally the Havan is done because the smoke can go out and it's easier for performance. So he does there.
Yeah.
Good.
Actually, we could attend.
Yes. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you. Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om, Varshaji.
Hari Om, my dear. Thank you for that video. Hari Om, Melissa.